Hey everyone, if you're looking for a power station that can actually keep up with your off-grid needs without breaking the bank, you might be wondering if the BLUETTI Elite 200 V2 is really worth the investment. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I recently put this thing through its paces for a few weeks, using it for camping, a couple of small power outages, and even a weekend DIY project where I needed reliable juice. And honestly, it surprised me in a lot of ways. First off, the power output is legit. With 2600W continuous and a peak of 3900W, it handled everything I threw at it: mini fridge, laptop, power tools, even a small space heater for a few hours. That hyperwatt tech really does make a difference when you need that extra kick. I mean, I've seen some power stations struggle with even smaller loads, but this one just hummed along without any issues. I was also impressed with how quiet it is. I mean, I've had power stations in the past that sounded like they were going to take off when you turned them on, but the BLUETTI Elite 200 V2 is really quiet. I used it for a camping trip and didn't even notice it was on, aside from the fact that all my devices were still charged. And that's a big deal if you're trying to enjoy the great outdoors without a lot of noise pollution. What really stood out to me was how smart this thing is about managing power. It doesn't just dump energy like some cheaper units, it actually adjusts based on what you're running. I had my phone, a portable speaker, and a few LED lights all plugged in at once, and it balanced the load without any issues. No flickering, no sudden shutdowns, just smooth, reliable power. That's huge if you're using it for sensitive electronics. I've had experiences in the past where I've plugged in a sensitive device to a power station, only to have it shut down randomly or not charge properly. But the BLUETTI Elite 200 V2 handled everything I threw at it with ease. Another thing that impressed me was the recharge speed. The Elite 200 V2 can go from 0 to 80% in just 50 minutes when you're using the Turbo Boost charging. I tested it with a 200W solar panel setup, and sure enough, it hit 80% before I even finished setting up camp. That's a game saver when you're trying to get off the grid quickly. Plus, the 3 smart charging modes let you choose between speed, efficiency, or quiet operation depending on your setup. I used the quiet mode when I was camping, and it was barely audible, even when I was right next to it. Durability is another big win here. BLUETTI claims this battery can last up to 17 years with normal use, and honestly, that doesn't feel like an exaggeration. The LFP battery chemistry is way more stable than the lithium-ion stuff you find in cheaper power stations. I've seen too many power banks degrade after a few years, but this one feels built to last. Even the casing is solid, no cheap plastic flex when you pick it up. It's like they built this thing to withstand the rigors of off-grid use, and that's exactly what you need when you're relying on it to keep your devices charged. Now, let's talk about the downsides. First, it's heavy. At around 50 pounds, this isn't something you're going to toss in your backpack for a quick hike. It's more of a set-it-and-forget-it kind of unit for your cabin, RV, or emergency stash. But let's be real, if you need something that can handle heavy loads, it's going to have some weight to it. And second, the price tag is a bit steep compared to smaller power stations, but if you need the capacity and reliability, it's worth it. I think the key here is to understand what you're getting for your money. This isn't a budget power station, but it's also not meant to be. It's a high-end unit designed for people who need serious power and reliability. If you're just looking for something to charge your phone and a few LED lights, there are cheaper options out there. But if you need a power station that can handle a mini fridge, power tools, and a laptop, this is the one. In addition to its impressive performance, the BLUETTI Elite 200 V2 also has a lot of features that make it convenient to use. It's got 4 2600W AC outlets, which is more than enough for most people's needs. It's also got a bunch of USB ports, including a few fast-charging ones, which is great for keeping your devices topped up. And the display is really easy to read, even in bright sunlight. One thing I was curious about was how well it would handle multiple devices at once. So, I set up a little test. I plugged in my laptop, a portable speaker, and a few LED lights, and then I added a power tool to the mix. Check it out using the link below if you want to see the specs for yourself.